Children, a big, warm, loving welcome to our very own channel, Ammu&You. Ammu always is eagerly waiting with stories to narrate to you, as she loves reading stories and narrating to them. Today, I have a story for you, which is about an amazing woman who is an inspiration to everyone. A woman of grit, bravery, courage, patriotism, heroism. She was one of the most known freedom fighters of our country, India. Rani Jhansi Lakshmi Bai. The Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmi Bai. We all know about her. We read about her in history. Today, I want to tell you her story. So, children, the story of Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmi Bai. 19th November, the year 1828. Little girl was born to a Brahmin family in the small town of Varanasi. The parents were overjoyed. They named her Manikarnika and lovingly called her Manu. Manu started growing up fast, happily, playfully, and everyone was surprised at her intelligence and her interest in reading. Children in those days, the girls were not sent to school for any sort of education. But little Manu was so interested in reading and writing and learning. She wanted to learn to read and write. And that surprised everyone around. Not only this, she was very brave. She wanted to learn everything that any boy would learn to. Archery, sword fighting, she wanted to learn everything. Everyone would say, "What strange girl is this?" Now, again, in those days, girls were married at a very, very young age. So, at a young age of 11 years, Manu was married to a 45-year-old man, Gangadhar Rao. He was the king of Jhansi. She was married to him, and very soon she gave birth to a child, a baby boy. But unfortunately, the baby died within 4 months of being born. Gangadhar and Manu both were heartbroken. Manu was now addressed as Lakshmi Bai. Both of them were very sad, and Gangadhar was really, really anxious that who would be the heir to his throne. And so he identified a child from his relative, and they adopted the child and named him Damodar Rao. Damodar Rao brought some happiness in the lives of Gangadhar, but bad luck struck again, and Gangadhar fell severely ill and he died. Lakshmi Bai was widowed at a very, very young age, and she took over the charge of Jhansi. At that young age, even, she never for a moment faltered in making that decision that Jhansi is ours and I will take care of Jhansi now. After immediately taking over Jhansi as the queen, she wrote a letter to Lord Dalhousie because India was under British rule then. So she wrote a letter to Lord Dalhousie saying that their adopted son Damodar should be accepted as the legal heir to the throne of Jhansi. Now, the Britishers were always very sly and clever. They knew that Jhansi did not have a real heir, and they were waiting to trick the queen and get hold of Jhansi, annex Jhansi. They rejected the plea sent by Rani Lakshmi Bai. Lakshmi Bai was very angry at this. Soon, in the year of 1857, there was the first War of Independence, and a revolt took place by the Indian soldiers in the British Army. Because children, British Army comprised largely of Indian soldiers. They revolted, and they revolted against the British and marched their way from Meerut to the kingdom of Delhi. Delhi was then ruled by Bahadur Shah Zafar, who had been captured and dethroned by the Britishers after treacherously killing his sons. He was put under in the prison by the British. Now these revolters, they reached Delhi, marched up to Delhi and put Bahadur Shah back onto the throne. Not only that, they captured Lucknow, Sitapur, and some adjoining kingdoms as well. The Britishers were very, very anxious and worried at this development. So they requested Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmi Bai to help them fight against these Indian soldiers. Now, Lakshmi Bai decided not to do that. Why would she? She said nothing doing, and went out to declare Jhansi as an independent kingdom, independent state. All her people of the kingdom welcomed her as their brave queen. She said, "This Jhansi is ours. We will not let anyone touch it, not even the Britishers. Are you with me?" And all the people, seeing such bravery and courage, they vowed to support their queen and their state of Jhansi. It was not so easy. The neighboring kingdoms became jealous. How could a woman rule a state? They attacked Jhansi. One of them was Sadashiv Rao. But Lakshmi Bai fought all of them and fought so bravely that she defeated them. Her name and fame started growing, and it reached the Britishers. The British army now decided to march towards Jhansi and capture it before Lakshmi Bai would become stronger and more powerful. News reached Lakshmi Bai, and the ministers got worried. They said, "We don't have such a huge army to match the British." Lakshmi Bai was unmoved. She said, "If we prepare well, we can match them. Let us start with our preparations. I want every single person to vow to fight for their motherland. And not only men, I invite all the women to come and join in the struggle." The woman said, "What can we do, Queen? Why can't you do? You can learn to ride horses like me. You can learn to shoot. You can learn sword fighting. And you can learn to care for the injured. All of this will be of help in case of war. The women agreed happily, and all of them started preparing for the British Army. As expected, just in a few days, the British Army arrived and attacked Jhansi. There was a severe battle. Lakshmi Bai fought bravely. Her soldiers fought bravely, so bravely that the British Army was taken aback, and they were amazed at the resilience of the Queen of Jhansi. But children, someone from the fort of Jhansi was bribed by the British, and some unfaithful localites joined hands with the British just in return of some money. Such foolish they were. They helped the British to give them access to get into the fort. The Britishers, with their help, with huge ladders, climbed from the back of the fort of Jhansi and entered the fort. As soon as Lakshmi Bai got to hear that the Britishers had entered the fort and captured it, she said, "Now I must flee from here and go elsewhere so that I can fight for my Jhansi and regain it." That brave queen tied her son Damodar to her back, and on the horseback with her followers, she marched through the battlefield and out of it. The Britishers chased them, but Jhansi Ki Rani was too fast for them. She ran, she fled, and she fled towards Kalpi, where she knew that she could get help from Tatya Tope and Baba Sahib Rao. Now she reached Kalpi. She was welcomed there. Rao Sahib welcomed her, stood up and said, "Salute to you, the great warrior, Queen of Jhansi. Welcome, and let us fight this common enemy together." "Yes, I have come with that intent. Let us not wait a single moment and get to plan and fight the British. I want my Jhansi back. I want to throw them out of my motherland, and that I will at any cost." Rao Sahib was amazed to see so much spirit and courage in that brave lady. He said, "The British army is marching towards Kalpi." Rani Lakshmi Bai said, "Why wait for them to come to us? Let us meet them at Kunch. I have asked help from Nawab of Banda also, and he has agreed to help us." And so, with their armies, they went and met the British army at Kunch. It was a severe battle again, but the British army was too huge, and because of some confusion, the army of Banda ran away and it got defeated. Rani Lakshmi Bai and Rao Sahib's army also was getting weaker and weaker, and they were getting worried. But Lakshmi Bai said, "Nothing to worry. We will not surrender. to the British. Let us send request of help to the king of Gwalior. Immediately word was sent to him. But unfortunately, the king of Gwalior refused help. Not only did he refuse help, he ordered his troops to attack the army of Jhansi ki Rani as soon as it came there. Hearing this, Lakshmi Bai said, "Okay, I will go to the fort of Gwalior and see myself." She entered the fort of Gwalior alone. She marched ahead, and seeing her, the people of Gwalior, the soldiers of Gwalior, put their weapons down. They said, "Victory to the queen, victory to the queen, victory to the queen. We are with you, we are with you, O brave queen." They had heard about her bravery and patriotism. And seeing her in person, they were just bowled over by her spirit. Now, Lakshmi Bai was in that fort of Gwalior. She had a huge army of the Gwalior fort and had money too. Now she could fight the Britishers again. Rao Sahib said, "Good that we have some footing now." Lakshmi Bai said, "Yes, and we are getting ready to face the British again, and we will defeat them for sure." Now, Rao Sahib just voiced out a little worry that I hear that the British army is marching towards Gwalior and they have doubled their strength. Do you think we will be able to face them? If not, we don't have any other option but to surrender. No question of surrender. We will fight them. We will fight them to our last breath. We will not let them take our motherland. Nobody shall even think of surrender. Wow, that you all will fight till your last breath. Such encouraging words were infused in every soldier. They all cheered and vowed to do what they were asked to do by the Queen. The British army came, it attacked the fort of Gwalior. Now, Lakshmi Bai, with her army that had merged with the army of Gwalior now, faced the British army bravely. The Britishers were not prepared for such a strong opposition. They were absolutely dumbstruck. But suddenly, the Britishers, attacked by a camel troop unannounced from a side of the battlefield. This was absolutely done secretly. The Indian soldiers, the army of Lakshmi Bai was taken aback completely. They were not prepared for it and they could not face it. Rani Lakshmi Bai, on her horse, marched through the battlefield alone, killing whoever came in her way. But in that heroic fight, she was fatally wounded. She fell on the ground. Rao Sahib and a minister quickly managed to take her away from the battlefield. They tried their best to save her, but couldn't. She breathed her last, but with the words, "We will all fight till the last breath. We will not give our motherland." Such heroism, patriotism, courage, and spirit was shown by the Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmi Bai, who became immortal as one of the greatest freedom fighters and the greatest woman freedom fighters that our country has ever known. We all are proud of her and salute her. Such an inspirational figure she was, children. We must all read more about her. We will all read in history, know more about her, and try to see how much of the qualities that she possessed we can inculcate in our own selves. The love for our motherland, not to give in, never to give up, and always have confidence in one's own self. That is what she always stood for. I'm sure, children, you love the story. Like, share, subscribe, and wait for Ammu again when she comes to you with another of her wonderful story. Thank you for watching, children. Ammu loves you. Be good, be brave, and read more about this amazing figure, Rani Lakshmi Bai. Thanks. Bye.